with regard to our analytics and monitoring, yes ma'am.
As a representative of one of the federal agencies that gets your data, based on what you're seeing in Einstein, what would you advise federal agencies to do in terms of prioritizing their defenses? Where should they put their efforts?
I think we have NetFlow, we have IDS. We have signatures that we manage for the IDS, and we have, obviously, analysis that we do on the NetFlow. How we divvy up the pie as far as what threats we need to look for with IDS, and how we either share signatures or indicators is really doctrine that I think, in my mind, is still being established. I think as we expand our sensor network, as federal network security folks start establishing criteria and standards, and we start raising the bar individually in each department and agencies, we'll understand our environment better. And the more we understand our collective environment, the better we'll be able to kind of parse up, decide what this defense in depth really means, right? So the Einstein program is not intended to provide security. I mean, there's provide security, but to be one-stop shopping, to be the silver bullet. Defense in depth is still the reigning philosophy, and an equal or probably more important part of that is how departments and agencies protect themselves. Okay, does that answer your question, sort of? I know it doesn't really, but that's it's coming. It's on its way. All right. Okay, National Cyber Protection System. This is really the acquisition, simply the phrase that we use to describe Einstein. But it's not, Einstein isn't just a sensor. It's a sensor combined with an analytics suite, automated analysis tools, and things like that. There's the, intrusion detection, cyber analytics, data aggregation. One thing that we've done with our Remedy, we use Remedy as our kind of reporting and logging, incident reporting tool. And I think it's used fairly widely. We get some inconsistent reporting in US-CERT. We've been able to leverage Remedy a little bit more in the last probably 6 months to do some data mining so that we can do some correlation within Remedy that we haven't been able to do before. And to some extent, this mitigates incomplete reporting. And so, as we improve reporting, plus improve our ability to data mine our incident database, expand our sensor network, and improve our analytics, and particularly develop some automatic analysis capabilities, hopefully, the bar will be raised for everybody. But basically, NCPS is run by the National, NSD, Mike Kern's group, that's responsible for building our infrastructure and supporting us as we execute our infrastructure. That's where all the money goes, okay, from the bottom line. Okay, a little bit about threat. I don't know how we're doing on time here, but cyber landscape. I was talking earlier to a gentleman everybody knows this, kind of the cyber threat actors. I mean, these are the folks that we worry about. And not only are they're what Melissa Hathaway used to call witting and unwitting actors, probably in many of these categories. One thing the Comprehensive National Cyber Initiative has brought out is really a focus on the cyber vectors, remote access, close access, and cyber supply chain. US-CERT has been focused on primarily remote access. Close access threats have been primarily on national communications, NCS, National Communications System. And inside our supply chain, even though we have a supply chain risk management program within NCSD, these activities haven't been as closely integrated as they should be, I personally. And that's part of our strategic planning effort and part of our overall planning effort to institute the broad recognition of the vectors in consonance with the usual type things, the threat actors, the targets, and the impact. And to me, those are important because, as we'll see in a later slide, what we're trying to do, I think, in establishing some of these programs is disrupt kind of the anatomy of the attack, or disrupt the anatomy of the malicious behavior that is stealing your information and manipulating your data and potentially in the industrial control systems arena destroying your equipment. Anatomy of the cyber attack. Again, I've seen this done, this dynamic done, or this kind of progression done in a number of different ways. I think most of you are probably familiar with what it takes to gain access, move laterally within the network, and then do whatever the adversary or malicious actor intends to do. And these things, executing secure policies, containing intrusions and remediating and performing forensics, and updating security in a kind of a cyclic way, offers the best chance of disrupting these attacks as they occur. You're not going to stop it. We're not going to stop everything. We know that. That's why the defense in depth is important. But the more we do the things we need to do here, the security policies, the better our incident response capabilities, the better our shared situational awareness, then the better chance we have in disrupting attacks and mitigating their impact. Sir? Yeah.
Where do you guys sort of classify machine-to-machine attacks that are not really, they're just sort of out there? They're, a machine is sort of like reinventing itself and trying to move things into attack. I mean, is that in the actors or is that somewhere else?
Well, somebody has to start that. Somebody has to have this capability, to actually. My experience is what I see mostly in that arena is the reconnaissance piece, and whomever conducts reconnaissance or deliberate, more deliberate attacks, like the kind of, half-hearted attacks or reconnaissance efforts are the ones that are kind of fishing. There are good guys fishing and there are bad guys, not fishing from a fishing sense, but there are good guys and bad guys who put nets out there. All right. So I think that may be a good point because we don't really incorporate that taxonomy in our description of the threat. 15 minutes. Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't know you were going to be there. Just a big book would come out. Okay, well, we're almost done. So let's go to here. Shared responsibility, protect, detect, respond, and sustain. We had the anatomy of an attack. This is kind of the anatomy of the defense against that. The left-hand list is, in my mind, what that's about is understanding your environment. Understanding your environment and then managing your environment in a way that makes it more secure. And so the circles here argue that any circle that you make smaller reduces your impact. So you're never going to get rid of malicious actors in your networks.